Hello, this is Monkey JK, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up for restreaming using OBS for the Wumpa Classic Championship Tournament, right? Now, OBS is a pretty handy piece of software, but in terms of sharing stuff, it's a little annoying. I've set up like a few files for you, which you'll be able to download in a link provided on video. So, to get started, first thing you'll need to know about is when importing and bringing in files like profile, configuration, and scene collections in OBS. They like to use something known as relative file paths, so this means whenever you get the stuff that you see on screen right now, you need to put it in a very specific spot. Otherwise, things like images and other stuff will not load correctly. So the first step is to download the OBS Wumpa Classic Championship zip file. This will contain things like media, OBS settings, and a little setup file. Once you have that zip file, you want to go ahead and unzip it to your C drive, right? Make sure you unzip the folder to OBS, so WCC for short. Once you open that folder, this stuff should be right in it. Once you got that, you should be ready to start setting things up. Now, the things you'll need is one, you'll need OBS Studio. In this case, I'm going to be showing this in 64-bit, but it shouldn't really matter which version you use. Don't use the OBS Classic version because that won't work. The other thing you'll need to do before we actually start importing things into OBS is we need to install a font file. Specifically, it's the Crash-alike font file, which looks like the Crash Bandicoot font. That should be located in the medias folder. And I'm going to open up the Crash-alike folder as well. And you should have a file like this. It's pretty straightforward. Just go ahead and right-click on it and choose Install. Alright, so now that our font is installed, let's actually start bringing things into OBS. We want to actually open up OBS Studio. So we're going to go ahead and start bringing our configuration files here. The first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and import our profile settings first. So I'm going to go to the profile menu up in the main toolbar, and I'm going to go and choose import. And I'm going to go to the OBS settings folder, go to profile, and select this folder. Do not go into the folder, just select it, right? Because that's pretty important. And now import the profile. In order to use the profile, we just go to profile menu again, and we'll go ahead and switch it on. So there we go. So now we have our profile imported, and it's now active. Now the profile mainly just affects the settings, really. It doesn't do anything else. And it'll set things up like the stream settings. As a precaution, I made sure the stream key actually isn't in the file. You'll have to ask me for it. If you can handle stream ID settings, that's fine. Otherwise, feel free to change this. And we got like some other things right here. Which at this point, since it's now imported, you can just tweak this however you like. So most of this is pretty straightforward and ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to change this thing for that. So now that our profile is imported and up and running, we want to do the same thing for our scene collection. So to import our scene collection, it's pretty much the same process as importing a profile, except you just import a file instead of a folder. I'm going to go to the scene collection here. I'm going to go to import. I'm going to make sure I navigate to this folder again. Go to OBS settings, go to scene collection, and we want to import this file right here. WCC scenes basic.json. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And now it should be imported. In order to actually start using it, we need to go to scene collection menu one more time. And you should see this option right here. If you don't see it, that might be because there was an issue when importing it. So let's go ahead and check that. And it should switch over to this right here. And if we're seeing this, that means the scene collection has been imported successfully. So as you can see here, we got our images, we've got our graphics, we got our text with our font file installed for Crash-alike. That's what that's being used for. And we got all these different scenes that we can switch to. Some are actually videos with like text and graphics, and some are just still images. So you can like tweak like this text here, maybe like racing starts soon, or player A versus player B in this group, this is ejected, that kind of thing. You can do whatever you want here, really. And pretty much you can like quickly flip between all these different scenes here and just, you know, do as you fancy. So now that we got everything all pulled in here and set up, let's go ahead and go over how this thing's meant to work. So these first 4 scenes here are mainly just used as like a starting soon for when like a match is about to start, right? And we also have like, just for variety's sake, like different like themed starting soon screens. So like maybe we have a match starting with like Crash 2 as the game, so you can like throw this one up, just for the fun of it. Kind of get a feel like, oh, we're gonna play Crash 2 now. Get ready. The next one that is similar is the Be Right Back screen. This is when if you're doing like more than one match for restreaming, this is the screen you might want to use when setting it up. And you can mute your Discord audio, your other audio, and like if you really want to, you can like play back music in the background while you're setting things up. So that way, or at least there's something going on like the stream while you're switching things around. And then there's a little extra scene right here in case you want to clarify that you might be having technical issues. So that's just there in case you want to use that. Now the last and actually most important one is this scene right here. This match 2-player scene. Now how this works is that like most of the other ones, we got like things like a background image, we got a header text, we got text for player 1 and player 2, and then we got these two browser sources right here. So if you're not aware or you haven't used these a lot, browser sources are basically just like mini browsers inside of OBS, but like, there's no toolbar, there's no bookmarks, there's no anything. It's just this, right? Our particular case, what we're doing is that we're just pulling in either a Twitch player or a YouTube player, and we're setting it up like this. You're going to be using the Twitch pop-out player because this gets it set up like this almost immediately. In order to switch these around, in case you want to change like which stream you're pulling in, we can go to either player 1 video or player 2 video, double click on it to edit the properties, and we got this part right here that lets us set the URL. Now in addition, we also have the width and height of the browser source. In this case, since typically the Twitch or YouTube player is 16:9, this is our resolution that will work for that. And there's also this 30 FPS thing here as well. In this case, if you're using the Twitch pop-up player, you can just change the username for like Twitch channel you're using right here as this part of the URL. And it should come in where like the player's muted and it just pulls in that channel. And if they're streaming, it'll start playing immediately. Otherwise, you may have to hit the play button. So all that right now is good to go. But if you have to use YouTube, you can just dump the YouTube URL into the properties, and you can then just hit the full screen button and it'll get it up like this right away. Now, if you need to interact with the browser source, the main way of doing that is to right-click on it and choose Interact. And this will give you a little pop-up screen that lets you actually interact with the web page, like, a normal web browser. Otherwise, the only thing you can do is, just move it around, make it bigger or smaller, rotate it if you know how to rotate it. And that's pretty much it. But if you need to hit the play button for some reason, or mute and unmute, check under advanced video stats to kind of get the latency, the stream and that kind of thing. What you might want to do, you can see like latency right here, if they're like in low latency mode or normal latency mode and all that kind of stuff. Basically, you can just right click on choose interact and you can do all that stuff right here, right? Now for YouTube, it's a slightly different scenario where you have to right click and choose something called stat for nerds, and it should display something similar here, right? And since the main challenge we have here is to ensure that the latency between our two competitors here is, the difference between them is fairly low, like, half a second or full second or something like that. This is like a very useful thing to actually check. Anyhow, that's how you can like interact with the browser source as a normal web page. Now, if you need to change like the text here, sort of same story. Double click on it. Set your text here, like for example, I'm gonna use Cool Pro for example. 195. All right. So let's say for some reason it's like Mr. Fraser Films not with a space, 2009. I'm mainly just looking for something that is like super long for your username, just to demonstrate that you can like type it in and it should try to auto resize it for you. I have it set up to do that. Okay, so, and of course you can go just like match group thing right here, change like group A, group D, group F, group X, whatever, and it just should just work. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole setup. Now this is just the basic scene collection we're working in here. If you want the more advanced one, you can import that as well, and you're going to need 3 pieces of software. The 3 pieces of software you'll need is Snaz, that's spelled S-N-A-S. You'll need Voicemeeter, which is spelled with 2 E's, and you'll need VLC player, because Snaz actually works alongside that in order to do things like what music is playing and that kind of thing. In fact, I'll kind of demonstrate that right now. So I'm going to go to this scene collection. Alright, I can show you this thing right here. And you notice I have like 2 additional audio inputs right here. One for Voicemeeter aux, which can be used for music, and one is to be used for Discord audio. Usually if a program gives you the ability to change like what output device it can send things to, then you can basically use Voicemeeter to actually do things like this. Anyhow, so it's pretty similar. You can see things have moved around a little bit, and there's also this no music playing section. So give me just a second here, and I'm going to search for a thing called Snaz. Go ahead and open that up. And I'm also going to open VLC player. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and get some music up here. Hope you don't mind me pulling off screen. I like my privacy a little bit. I'm just going to double click on that. And you may or may not be hearing it right now. I think it's set up where you can't hear it. But right now, music is currently playing, and I can hear it. And let's see. Let's get a little fancy. I'm going to have it do visualizer. I'm going to have it do that. I'm going to throw in the other monitor. And in Snaz, if I go to this play now section, you notice it's picking up on that. It's going to display like this. And then in here, it's actually dumping that to a text file. So OBS actually can read text files, and if something updates it, it'll pull in here. And as you can all can see, the visualizer I set up in VLC player, I'm also pulling in there. So that way I have like something to go a bit more dynamic, not just a static screen. So, you know, just for the fun of it. So this is mainly just visible on the starting soon screens. Down the BRX back screen and the technical, well, actually I don't have it on that one. The only scenes that's not on is the tech issues and this one right here. This one is just blank, so just don't worry about that. Oh, you might also notice that I have this Discord thing up here as well set up. Where this is mainly come from is, I think, another browser source. And there's like a site called like Streamer Kit, OBS Streamer Kit specifically. And it just gives you like a little web page where you can like fix something, pick a channel you want to have it display people in. And then once you're ready, you can just dump it into like a browser source, just drop it in here, and you're good to go, right? And normally this will try to auto connect you to the channel as soon as you open up OBS with this scene collection. So keep that in mind. But other than that, you should be good. Alright, so I think that covers everything. Now, you don't have to use the advanced setup if you don't want to. That's just there in case you really think you want to mess around with this kind of thing. Otherwise, that should be everything. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in tournament. Catch you later.